So hello everyone, welcome back, and this is class number 19, and in this class we are going to discuss about something very interesting, right? In today's class we are going to discuss about color theory and image colors, right? Here we go. My name is Tharun. Video editing has changed my life and it can change yours too. You know, Tharun speaks quality, quantity. So first things first, welcome back. And like most of you guys might have already watched some color theory classes here and there, right? But people make it very complex, right? In this class, I'm going to explain you all the color theory and all of those things as if you're like a small kid. Got it? So the first things first, the basic thing that we have to discuss about is this thing, right? Which is the color wheel, where you have different set of colors and the arrangement of these colors is very important, right? You can, if you want, you can just take a screenshot of this like color wheel, or maybe you can just go to Google and download the color wheel for yourself, paste it somewhere in your room, right? Or maybe have it in your phone or something like that, right? Because the arrangement of these colors is very important, right? And I'll tell you exactly why. Okay? But before coming there, we'll discuss about something called as primary colors, secondary colors and tertiary colors, right? So just with an open mind, just listen to this. Imagine you have three colors, right? And with these three colors, you can actually generate other colors, like any other color that you have, right? For example, just imagine like you were a kid, 6th class ka kid or 7th class ka kid. At that point of time, you had acrylic colors, like like basically this, painting wala stuff that you had that you used to paint and all of those things, guys. And imagine if you just buy 3 of those colors, which is red, yellow and blue, you can make any other color on the color wheel, right? By just taking, higher portions of red, lesser portions of blue, or more lesser portions of yellow, you can actually generate any other colors that you have, right? For example, if you mix red and yellow, you'll be getting the secondary color, which is orange, right? If you be mixing red and blue, you'll be getting the secondary color, which is purple. If you'll be mixing blue and yellow, you'll be getting the secondary color, which is green, right? So basically the secondary colors are when you mix primary colors, like the equal amounts of both. 50% red, 50% yellow will give you orange, right? So now moving forward, you have tertiary colors. How do you generate tertiary colors? Simple, right? You mix a primary color, which is red, and then you mix a secondary color, which is orange. You get this color, right? Which is red-orange volatile, right? And similarly, if you mix a primary color and the adjacent secondary color that you have, right, then you get the third thing, which is the tertiary color between those two things, right? Basically, mixing a primary color and a secondary color will give you a tertiary color. Got it? Just to remember, if you have 3 portions of paint in your hand, which is red, yellow and blue, you can generate any other color that you want to paint on your art, right? So with these things in your hand, right, this primary, secondary, tertiary. So I guess you got like a proper clarity about these 3 things. So now going forward, let's discuss about something called color models, right? What are these color models? So just as I told you that red, yellow and blue are like the primary colors that you have, and you can generate other colors using this. I was mentioning about this thing, right? Where I was mentioning about acrylic colors, like basically the actual colors that you have in your hand, which you can paint, right? So basically, you have 3 color models, like majorly. The first one is RYB, red, yellow, blue, which we were just discussing, paints wala thing, right? So this is usually used in paints or drawings or art or something like that, right? But the same thing in digital format, right? When you have LCDs, when you have displays and all of those things, at that point of time, you use different color model, right? Which is red, green and blue. What is it? RGB. You might have heard of all of these things, right? RGB. You might have used this term a lot of things. You might have seen this term a lot of things. So basically, in digital format, right? In these videos or displays, all of these things, the color model that you use is RGB, which means if you have these 3 colors, you can generate other colors. By using the right proportion of RGB colors on a display, you'll be able to generate different colors that you want on the display. And similarly, paints it's RYB, red, yellow and blue. And similarly, in prints, right? Print, like imagine you're printing something, any printing that you take care. At that point of time, the color model that we use is CMYK. Cyan, magenta, yellow and K is nothing but the black that you have, right? So you got it. Initially we talked about primary colors, how do we generate secondary colors using primary colors, and then tertiary colors. And then we are talking about, different color models that we have, where in digital format you got RGB, and in basically like painting and all of the stuff you got RYB, and in prints, like you're printing something, at that point of time you got CMYK. Okay? You don't need to remember all of these things, but it would be good if you at least have a proper idea of those things, right? So now let's talk about the next thing, which is HSL. What is it? It's HSL. What does this mean? Like if you're color grading a footage or anything like that, you'll be listening to this HSL a lot of times, right? What does it mean? The first H stands for hue, which is basically the colors, right? If you move this hue wala thing to left, it gets you like a green color. If you move it further left side, it will give you yellow. If you move it further this side, it will give you red, right? And similarly on the right you have this, right? So basically this hue wala curve, whatever it is there, this is like a color wheel, right? But then the red has been cut and it has been made a strip, right? So basically just remember one thing, hue is something which is a direct color. If you're moving the pointer on the hue wala cycle to different colors, the image also turns towards different colors. Got it? And similarly you have the S. What is S? S is nothing but saturation, right? If a color is there, how much intensity of the color is present in a video or in an image, right? That is the saturation for that hue, for that color. Hue is nothing but color. S, saturation, which is nothing but the saturation or the strength, or what you can say, how good the color is. We're talking about red. If it's 100%, it will be proper red color. If you slowly decrease it, it kind of fade away, right? And then the third thing, which is lightness, like how bright is the color inside the film. So the HSL, you have HSL curves and all of these things. We'll be discussing about all of this stuff while we are actually color grading. But yeah, basically this HSL wala thing exists to just let you know that there's hues, saturations and lightness. With these three things you can actually play around with the colors of the image, right? So with that being said, now let's talk about color harmonies. What is color harmonies, right? Now again, coming back to the first example that we took, where imagine you're a kid and you had three colors in your hand, right? Red, yellow and blue. You had three colors in your hand. Now imagine instead of this you have oil pastels, right? Some 24 oil pastels, like basically a crayons ka box, or oil pastels ka box, something like that. Basically you have a lot of colors with you, right? Imagine what color can you pick along with the color that you have to make the entire drawing look good, right? Basically color harmonies is nothing but what is the color combination that you can take in order to make your final painting, or in order to make your final image, or in order to make your final print look good, right? Basically in a class of 20 people or 24 people, right, who are the two people who can become best friends? Who are the three people who can become a good gang of three people? Who are the four people who can become like a bigger gang, right? So that's what is about color harmonies. Like what is the color which can go with other color, right? So the first thing is monochromatic, where you single-handedly choose one color and you use that with different intensities or with different saturations in order to color grade a footage, right? So basically you have monochromatic black or monochromatic yellow, monochromatic blue, where you have just blue but with different intensities, right, in order to make the entire color grading of the footage, right? And similarly then we have analogous colors. Analogous is same, right? Imagine you have selected yellow color, right? What are the two adjacent colors that we have along with yellow, right? You can use these three colors to color grade an entire scene and the scene will look good, right? That's what this color harmonies is about. It's like what colors and what color combinations that you can take in order to make the final output look good is color harmonies. And the first one is monochromatic and the second one is analogous. Analogous is like, okay, I'm sitting here, who's the next person who's sitting to me? Okay, Ramesh. Who's the next person who's sitting to me? Suresh. So Tharun, Ramesh, Suresh. We three of us, we are analogous colors, and if you use three of us together well, you can actually get a good painting, or you can actually get like a good visual, right? And then we have one more thing, which is complementary, right? Imagine I'm sitting here, right? And straight opposite to me in my class, there's a girl sitting, right? If you use both of us as a pair, and if you give us a task, we'll do it really good, right? Because I'm impressing her, she is impressing me, we kind of like bond with each other, kind of really well. So basically, any complementary colors, like opposites attract, right? So if you take red and green or something like that, you'll be able to generate like a good color grade at the end of the day. And then coming to the next thing, which is the split complementary, right? Here I'll just tell you one more example, right? I'm sitting here and there's a girl sitting out there whom I like, right? Opposite me, right? But she is like out of my reach. What I'll do is I'll try for the girls who are sitting just beside her. Got it? So basically I'm sitting here, I'm orange, right? My opposite me, there's a light blue color wala girl, right? But she is out of my range, right? But so what I'll try to do is I'll try to flirt with the girl who's just sitting just beside her, right? Or maybe this side, right? So if you pair up three of us, we'll also give you a very solid team, because I'll try to impress her, I'll also try to impress her, just so that they'll go back and tell my crush that Tharun is a good person, right? So that is split complementary for you, right? I'm trying to give you like really weird examples or something like that, but yeah, you get my point, right? And then we have something called a square, right? Where you exactly draw a square, right, onto the color wheel, and you select 4 colors from there, and that will also give you good color combination, right? So now actually, like, just to show you properly how these color harmonies work, I have collected a couple of examples, right? I'll exactly show you, just after like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. But yeah, just keep listening to this. And then we have, like, before we even discuss about the proper color grading, all of these things, let me tell you, there are warm colors and there are cold colors, right? Warm, cold, whatever is there on the top of this are warm colors, and whatever are there below this line are the cold colors, like cold colors, cool colors, whatever you want to call it. And both of these colors, right, warm colors and cold colors, have different purposes, right? We'll be discussing about that later. But for now, let's actually talk about the real color grading, right? Why do we color grade? The first question, a simple layman's question, right? The first reason why we actually color grade a footage is because we want to, get some good visual appeal of the scene, right? Most of the colors that you see outside, they're not so visually pleasing. So what do is you color grade the footage to make it more visually pleasing, right? And then you also color grade to set the mood of the footage, right? For example, imagine you want like a very intense wala mood, right? You might actually make the entire color grade look red color, right? So, or maybe imagine you want like a very relaxing wala thing. At that point of time, you'll try to, color grade it in a different way, right? So you also color grade to actually set the mood for the scene. And then you also color grade to achieve consistency, because at different points of time, you will be shooting different scenes and all of those things. So kind of to give like a, similar look to individual scenes, so that the entire movie feels like, acha, this is actually one movie, right? Basically for that also, like to generate consistency inside the film, we also do the color grading, right? And why else do you do? Imagine you have like a proper unique style, right? Even that point of time you color grade a footage, right? And then sometimes you might be messing up some of the footages while you're shooting, right? Even for those corrections and all, you try to color grade your footages, right? You don't need to remember all of these things, but what you actually need to remember is these things, right? You can use one like monochromatic wala thing. See, this is what I was talking about. You can use one main color and use different intensities of it to generate a color. Here we have green also, here with this also. But basically, just try to imagine a scene from the Oppenheimer scene, right? Like you'd be having black color footage where some of the whites are like very white, some of them are gray, then we have like more grayish colors, then we have darker gray, and then we have like black, right? So that is the monochromatic example for you. And then we have analogous colors. This is how the footage looks like, where we discuss about this, right? You select a footage, like you select a color, and you try to use Ramesh and Suresh just beside you, right? So, and then we have split complementary, which is you have a complementary color, right? But then you don't directly hit that girl, you hit 2 of the other girls, right? Just so that they will go back and talk about you, right? Split complementary. This is how it talks. And then we have square, where we randomly put a square and you try to color grade. You try to pick 4 colors and you try to color grade your entire footage based on that, right? So with that being said, let me just actually open my Premiere Pro screen and let me show you one wonderful trick, right? So whenever you are trying to color grade, imagine you have like a scene that you want to color grade. You can actually, imagine you have Game of Thrones ka footage. You can actually take your footage and copy colors of Game of Thrones ka thing, right? Direct copy paste. Let me show you how do you do it, right? So here we have my screen and let me say, imagine this is the scene that I want to color grade, right? And I want to color grade it to this scene, right? If you see the color one, kind of bluish wala thing, right? So what I'll try to do is I'll go to my footage, right? And I'll go to the small thing, workspaces wala thing, then open color tab here, right? Once I open this, basic corrections, I already made a couple of changes in this adjustment layer, don't care about it. But what I want you to do is go to this color wheels and match. Where do you go? Color wheels and match. Once you go there, you have something called comparison view, right? So this is for copying colors of any of the image that you have, right? You can just go take screenshot of any movie that you want and you can get that color in your footage, right? It don't be perfect, but it will give you a head start, right? It will give you a beginning or a start so that you can actually color grade, right? So I'll just click on this comparison view and then you'll have two of those things, right? So you'll be getting these two things. So if you see, the left side one is the reference, right? Left side one thing is the reference, but you can actually go to this timeline. You can just go back. This is again a replica of your timeline that you have. This is the original timeline that you have, right? This small thing that you see over here, this is the replica, right? This is the copy of your timeline that you have, right? So you can go back on this timeline, so that will be a replica of the original timeline that you have, right? So basically you just move this time head or jo bhi hai to the reference that you want to color grade. Like imagine this is my reference, right? You moved here, you put it here, right? And this is the current, right? So what you do is this, you put the reference right by moving this slider, this thing is done, right? Then you apply match, and if you see, the colors from this footage have been, see, I told you again, this won't be perfect, but this will give you a head start. This will give you like beginning start. So again, you can basically, keep your reference as the second image, right? I'll just click Control this. This was the second image and this was the first image that you had, right? And you can apply color match, right? It will just copy, this image will copy colors from this thing, right? And similarly, imagine this third one is the color that you want to copy, right? You can just go here and click on apply match and this will match colors from this reference. Got it? So that is it. Basically you get whatever colors that you want onto your footage, right? Onto your timeline, right? And then you go back to the footage that you want to color, right? Usme you open color wheels and match, you go to comparison view, right? It will give you two of these things. The first one is a replica of the timeline that you already have. So just change it to the color that you want to copy colors from. This is this image, right? So again, then just click on apply match and the footage that you want to color grade, that will copy colors from this thing, right? A simple trick, but in the next class we are actually going to discuss about how do I actually color grade my videos, right? How do I actually get good colors in my videos, right? So I'll show you how I do that, but for now apply this color match and try to color grade your footages. I guess with that being said, chalo, I guess this was like a short small class where you got some clarity about the color theory and color harmonies, what are the different color models and how do we color grade, right? So with that being said, I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.